So from today, we're starting the second half of the month of May, and that takes us effectively to the end of the second month in the second quarter. Welcome everyone to Business Morning, live here on Channel Television. I am Bosin. Let's get this week started. What's on tap for this week? The April inflation report from the National Bureau of Statistics will be a big story. We're expecting that to come in anytime from today, and that will be a big story for everyone who's been looking at inflation trending much lower in Nigeria. Some predicting about 11% sometime in the near future. Also this week is the continuation since Friday, the 51st Economic Council for Africa's Conference on African Ministers in Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital, discussing the continent's state of the economy, agriculture, rail, corruption, structural transformation, trade, and everything else in between. The session's gate is currently underway as we speak. Meantime, the Nigeria's Office of Trade Negotiation, NOTN, is holding a consultation or stakeholders consultation meetings in the Nigeria's Northeast and North Central, and that will be from tomorrow the 15th and on the 18th. That's the information we got from the NOTN Twitter handle this morning. Nigeria backed down from the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement when it was put together in Kigali about a month ago. Now we're continuing the stakeholders consultation to bring everyone on the table and see how soon Nigeria will be part of that. Next week is the second, Monday and Tuesday next week, 21 and 22nd, is the second meeting of Nigeria's MPC in 2018. That meeting will focus on the current global and domestic economic situation and the markets as well. And then we'll have what the decision will be on interest rates. Meantime, we're also looking at the first quarter GDP numbers from the Bureau of Statistics, at least sometime next week. And starting on Monday, the African Development Bank annual meetings will take place in Busan, the South Korea industrial city. And the focus is on accelerating Africa's industrialization. No other better place to hold that meeting by EFDB than the city of Busan, which is one of the most industrialized city in the world. And that's been covered here for you on Channels Television. So that's what's on the calendar. Just a bit of a halftime, what you have on track. But let's get to other stories making the headlines as we speak. Over the weekend, the National Drug Agency by NAFDAC says is reopening Emzor Pharmaceuticals in Lagos and two other drug makers in the Ilorin Kwara State over the codeine in cough syrup addiction. But the firms will pay some fines, however, to the regulatory authorities. And NAFDAC says the three pharmaceuticals are to fully comply to stop cough syrup with codeine material production forthwith. NAFDAC also says it suspends the fresh or renewal of import licenses for codeine substances pending the ongoing comprehensive investigation. Now, 5 commercial banks and 4 other financial institutions have been selected by Nigeria's Development Finance Bank, or what you call Development Bank of Nigeria, to disburse loans to small and medium enterprises under the new arrangement. The 5 banks were Wema, EcoBank Nigeria, Sterling Bank, Diamond Bank, and Fidelity Bank. Other bank institutions on that list include the Microcredit, Infinity, BUSAC, and the listed Fortis Microfinance Bank PLC. So 9 of them will be disbursing the medium and small enterprises loan. The DFI, or yes, that is DFI, is targeting 200,000 SMEs in the first year of full operations to disburse these loans to them. And the Nigeria's finance minister spent the weekend tweeting on the state of the economy, touching on tax, touching on budget, as well as the tumbling yield rate. Kemi Adeosun on our Twitter handle says the federal government is closing budget 2017 very soon with a capex spending of about 1.5 trillion naira. She said that we're looking forward to the passage of the 2018 budget by the National Assembly. She went on to tweet that the FRS and other tax authorities at the state level are doing a great deal of work on expanding the tax base and the enforcement of tax payment. She said we must diversify our revenue base. She went on to add that our debt management strategies focusing on bringing down borrowing costs is working. The federal government was borrowing at an average cost of about 18%. Today, it is 13%. We will continue to work very hard on debt service costs, according to Kemi Adeosun's tweet. So that's taking that conversation right from there to look at the marketplace and doing a bit of analysis on that. Let's bring in Omotola Abimbola, who is one of the investment analysts at Afrinvest, to the conversation this morning, starting bringing the economic data we're looking at, and then the equities that's been a little bit weak at the knees and the yields that are tumbling. Good morning.
Good morning, Boston.
Good to have you here. Start the week for us on what we'll get to Kemi Adeosun's, the finance minister's tweet a little bit later. But if we look at the top economic stories that you think will drive the second half of this month forward.
Yeah, there are a couple of data coming out this month. We already saw capital importation for Q1 coming out last week, and in line with expectation, we saw a rise in foreign inflows into the Nigerian economy, although it was wholly driven by foreign portfolio investments, both on a year-on-year basis and on a quarter-on-quarter basis. For us, we still believe that the weaknesses we are seeing in foreign direct investments is a missed opportunity in capitalizing on the current positive macroeconomic backdrop to increase the stock of foreign capital in the Nigerian economy, to encourage capital formation and create more jobs for the economy. But regarding the other data coming out later in the month, we're expecting April 2018 CPI numbers to come out later this week, and we are forecasting a moderation in inflation from 13.3% to 12.6%.
That's at Afrinvest?
At Afrinvest. And that will mark the 15th consecutive moderation in headline inflation.
What do you think will drive
it will be two. Number one is the high base effects. I think from the points when inflation peaks at 18.7% in January 2017 till now, high base effect has been the major driver of the deceleration in inflation, and we expect that to continue, particularly in both the food and the core index. The second factor that probably drives it is